things just took a major turn. Wild Cincinnati Bengals update involving their first 2 picks in this year's draft. Welcome back to the Bengals Digest channel. I'm Carson Lokey. Before I jump into this report involving our 2 first-round picks, first round being Shemar, Stewart, second round being Demetrius Jr. Before I jump into that, a little update on the channel. Yes, I am still doing the Bengals Digest channel. If you would have saw Saturday, we have a new face. His name is Isaac. I'm not done. You can't get rid of me that easily. I'm still going to be doing videos as well, but Isaac, will also be doing videos. We're still working out how it'll be like every day, both of us, or maybe some days we do it together, maybe a live video together. But we will both be posting regular updates on the Cincinnati Bengals on the Bengals Digest channel. So I'm trying to build the Bengal Nation, just like I said, Houday Nation. I want all of us to be one big community, and Isaac is just now becoming a part of this community on the Bengals Digest channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel if you like seeing me, and if you like seeing Isaac, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 1,500, and I know we can get there. You guys have shown this channel so much love, and I appreciate it more than I could ever put into it. So thank you guys so much. But yes, once again, I am not done. We just added someone to the channel as well. So hopefully go watch Isaac videos as well as mine. Isaac is very good. He has a great voice, by the way. And he's a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan, just like me. But let's jump right into the report. Yes. First round pick, Shemar Stewart, edge rusher, and second round pick, Demetrius Jr., the linebacker, have both sat out of the rookie minicamp. So the Bengals, they run their rookie minicamp a little bit differently than every other team in the league. There's only 1 day of rookie minicamp. And because of contract situations, Shemar Stewart and Demetrius Jr. did not participate in the rookie minicamp. They were there. They were on the sidelines talking with their coaches, but they did not actively participate in that. And the main reason why is obviously both have not figured out their contracts. They're still working through all that good stuff. But obviously with that contract, you kind of have you don't have the liability of if you get injured, all the good stuff. I'm pretty sure they are still protected if they get injured now, but it's just more solidified with the contract. So every other rookie that we drafted has been signed. Dylan Fairchild has been signed. Barrett Carter has been signed. Jalen Rivers have been signed. And Taj Brooks have been signed. They all participated. We'll be talking about most of them coming up. But these two, obviously, the first-round picks are the players you want to see out there the most. Unfortunately, Bengals, as Bengals do, the front office, the contracts have not been done. This is what Shemar Stewart had to say about him not participating. This is Shemar Stewart on sitting out of minicamp. I just decided not to sign those papers. I hate being on the sideline looking at everybody else do work. Shemar Stewart wants to be out there. It's very clear. He wants to be out there. He wants to be participating with his team, but because of contracts, he's not able to. I don't blame them. It's kind of like you wouldn't go to work if you didn't have a contract signed. Now that they're in the NFL, this is a business. They were probably also advised by their agent not to participate if a contract is not signed. Just like you wouldn't go to work if you didn't have that contract. It's just like that. NFL is a business. It's not a reason of they're not going to get signed or whatever, because that would just be stupid if they didn't sign them, because why would draft them? They will get signed on the contract. It just wasn't done before the rookie minicamp. Obviously, that's unfortunate. You would rather seeing them out there, especially since it's 1 day, but we still have the rest of the voluntary workouts, and then once we get to OTAs and preseason, obviously they'll be there, and I expect both of them to be signed to the contracts and make the 53-man roster. It's just a little bit upsetting that the Bengals front office, once again, disappoints us as fans and doesn't get what needs to be done worked, because I would have rather been on this channel talking about how Shemar Stewart and Knight did in the minicamp, but now we're talking about them not participating because a contract was not signed. But for Demetrius Knight, he obviously was there just as Shemar Stewart was there, but he was going through mental reps. He wasn't actively participating, but he was on the sidelines doing mental reps. And reporters in Cincinnati got to ask him about what he was doing. And I thought he had a pretty cool answer. So this is Demetrius Knight Jr. on doing mental reps while sitting out. The best of the best do that. Drew Brees did it. Imagery is key. Demetrius Knight Jr., he has a great story if you haven't heard it. I think I might have talked about it a little bit, but back in South Carolina. He was originally at originally at Charlotte. I could be wrong. But then he transferred to South Carolina for a little bit more NIL money because he was providing for his wife and his kid, and then he was also working while going to school and playing football. He said after games and after practice, he would go straight to work to make sure his baby had formula. So he has a really cool story. But I love Demetrius Knight Jr., his personality, even Shemar Stewart. Both their personalities, fit the Bengals locker room very well. They're both leaders. They were leaders on their college team. They're going to be leaders on this Bengals roster. So I love both of them. I really love Demetrius Knight Jr.'s story. He's a great guy. He's going to be one of probably my favorite Bengals and probably going to be one of your guys' favorite Bengals. Once we get into the season, you guys see more about him. But just a little update on that front of what our 2 first-round picks were doing. No, they don't just hate the Bengals and don't want to play. The contracts have not been signed. So no, not a massive deal. Obviously, it's upsetting that the front office wasn't able to get this done. But it is what it is. I think they'll be done within the next week or two, and then they'll be able to go work out with the team, be there for OTAs, and we get to talk about them all we want when that happens. But obviously, I'll still be talking about them here on the Bengals Digest channel. So now, for the rest of the players that actually did participate in the rookie minicamp, this is Dan. He is the Bengals play-by-play announcer for radio. And he always does these, and I love him. Go follow him on Twitter. He does these breakdowns of OTA practices. And this is his 5 observations from the Bengals rookie camp, and I want to go through each one and kind of give a little bit more detail on what that means. Number 1, Dan's first observation. Scott Peters, our new offensive line coach, was hands-on with the O-linemen, including third-rounder Dylan Fairchild, who is under contract. This is Dan Pitcher, our offensive coordinator, saying that's who he is. It seeps out of him. So when you see him interact with these young players, they really gravitate toward that. So why I was so excited about the Scott Peters is because how hands-on. Obviously, his wrestling background matches that very highly with our third-round pick, Dylan Fairchild. His wrestling background as well. In college, and I think maybe in high school, he went undefeated in wrestling. He has a massive wrestling background. So does Scott Peters. The fact that Scott Peters gets to develop Dylan Fairchild, I think he's going to be one of the best guards in the league with Scott Peters at the helm, teaching him because of their wrestling background. They're going to be really handsy, and I'm very excited that Scott Peters is very hands-on with the offensive linemen. So be excited for the Bengals offensive line in 2025. This is another offensive line observation by Dan. Undrafted center Seth McLaughlin was an observer after tearing his ACL in November. He was a projected 3rd/4th round pick before the injury. This is what Seth had to say. It's right on progress for where I think I should be. That's saying him being an observer on the field, not playing. Hopefully, I'm back by training camp. That's the goal. But another question was asked to Seth was about the reason why he chose the Cincinnati Bengals. Seth McLaughlin could have went anywhere. He chose the Bengals for a reason. This is why Seth McLaughlin decided to play in Cincinnati. He was the best player available that was undrafted. When the undrafted free agency opened up, he was the best player available. This is why he chose the Bengals. Great offense. They compete for Super Bowls. I've won a championship at every level. Seth McLaughlin came to Cincinnati to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, that is the end goal for everybody in that organization. And if it's not the end goal for one person in this organization, they need to leave, because that is the goal every single year, win the Super Bowl. I know every team says that, but with Cincinnati, it's a reality. With Joe Burrow as your quarterback and Jamar Chase as your wide receiver 1 and Higgins as your wide receiver 2, you should be winning Super Bowls or competing for Super Bowls every single year. And that's why Seth McLaughlin came and chose Cincinnati. And I think that's just interesting to see. Like he said, he's won championships every single year. He sees what it takes. He's been there, done that, seen what it takes to win championships. And the fact that he's choosing Cincinnati over any other team shows a lot for what the Bengals can do if they get it right. And I'm hoping they do, and I think they will. Third observation by Dan. Defensive tackle Dante Barnett from England, is with the team on the International Player Program. He can be on the practice squad this year without counting towards the 16-man limit. This is Zach Taylor talking about Barnett. He's got a great attitude and a real talent. So we'll see how quickly he can get adjusted. Obviously, if you don't know, There's an international player program where each team has to bring in somebody from the international, obviously not being from America. So this is going to be a really cool story to look out for. Dante Barnett, and we'll see. Obviously, Coach Zach Taylor likes him. He said he's got a great attitude and a real talent. So that's exciting. Obviously, Zach Taylor went on to say, and I think I'm going to mention a little bit about how competitive and willing Cincinnati is to sign and play their undrafted free agents. This is number 4 for Dan. Will Wagner, the top long snapper in this year's class, signed with Cincinnati to compete with 3-year starter I always forget to say this, Adomitis. Cal Adomitis. This is what Zach Taylor had to say. We want competition across the board, and long snappers no different, said Coach Taylor. Will is coming in with a great attitude, ready to compete. So, why I love this so much and why Dan brought this up was the fact that Taylor and the rest of the coaching staff wants every position to be a competition. Yes, Joe Burrow is going to be the starting quarterback. Yes, Shemar Chase and Higgins are going to be out there every single play or as the starters on the first play of the game. But he wants the competition factor in every single position. No matter who's starting, no matter who's behind them, he wants competition because that's how you fuel a championship team. If it's just lazy, anyways, if it's lackluster, I'll go with that saying because that's the saying I remember. Lackluster in any position, that's just when you start to settle and not try as hard. Obviously, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase aren't that factor, but he wants competition at every position to get everybody ready because you never know with injuries and what's going to happen, who's going to have to play, when, and where. But he wants everybody to be ready, and the competition at each position, that's what fuels a championship team. That's why I think Seth McLaughlin, even though we have Ted Karras and Matt Lee, he wanted to come in, compete, and push each other to go to that next level and win a Super Bowl. So that's really cool to see from our head coach. And then 5th observation, undrafted rookies, Ryan Reku, oh my goodness, Mame and Jungmaida and Cam Grandy. Sorry, I should have read these names in practice before. Made the team last year. Now, defensive tackle Eric. So they were undrafted free agents last year and they were signed. Defensive tackle Eric Gregory, who is from Arkansas, looks like a candidate this year. Zach Taylor had to say this. This is what he had to say. This is what I'm talking about earlier. If you're undrafted and want a chance, come to Cincinnati. We'll give you the same opportunity that we give our draft picks. So this is probably one of my favorite quotes from Zach Taylor, is because of the NFL is so unpredictable. You never know what talent is going to hit. And the fact that Zach Taylor and the rest of this coaching staff are giving undrafted free agents full range, like, hey, just because you went undrafted does not mean you're not making the roster. And just because you got drafted, that doesn't mean you have priority over the undrafted guys. Think about one of our best linebackers in Bengals history, Vontaze. Perfect. He was an undrafted. He was undrafted free agent. Undrafted free agents can be special in the NFL. And Cincinnati and Zach Taylor allowing them to compete for starting positions and a roster spot, even just a roster spot, shows how much they want to improve no matter what. They're not just going to try to go to the draft and only use their drafted players, but if we have an insane amount of talent in the undrafted free agents, they're going to see the field as well. That's why I'm so excited about this whole draft class, including the undrafted players, because I think there's a lot of players that went undrafted that we signed that can be a help to this Cincinnati Bengals roster, especially with depth. Like we got Howard Cross, the third defensive tackle from Notre Dame, and Eric Gregory, defensive tackle from Arkansas. They could both make the roster and help significantly with our depth and our defensive line. And they can be plugged and placed, and then maybe you never know if one of them turns into one of the best tackles in Bengals history because of the talent. You never know. That's why I love this quote so much, because you never really know. It's impossible to predict who is going to turn into what in the NFL. You have no idea. Yes, you can be an evaluator of players, and you can say, yes, he does this good, and he needs to work on this. Yes, obviously. But no one can predict who is going to be what in the NFL. No one predicted Trey Hendrickson was going to be the sack leader in the NFL. Coming out of college, going to the Saints, before he came to the Bengals after 3 years, he had, I think, 4 sacks total in his career. Now, since 2020, being at the Bengals, he leads the league in sacks from 2020 leads the league in sacks since 2021, leads the league in sacks since 2022, leads the league in sacks since 2023, leads the league in sacks 2024. Actually led the league in sacks that season alone. But all those years combined, leads the league in sacks. No one would have predicted that. No one would have predicted Burfict being the linebacker that he was in Cincinnati. You never know. That's my point. No one knew what Tom Brady was going to turn into. That's my point. That's why I'm so excited about this draft class and the undrafted guys, is because a lot of these guys, I love college football. I've seen how they play in college football. I've seen the leadership they bring in college football, even the undrafted guys. That's why I'm so excited for this year and for these undrafted and drafted players, because of what they bring to this team. And I know that each one of them can provide at least something to the Cincinnati Bengals in 2025. But thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, I am not done. You cannot get rid of me. We just added a new name and a new face to the Bengals Digest channel. We're both breaking down reports, anything Cincinnati Bengals. Me, and Isaac will be talking about it here on the Bengals Digest channel. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Bengals Digest channel if you love the Bengals as much as we do. We're going to be talking about them every single day, no matter what. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to 1,500. We're going to get there very soon. I know it because of all the love and you guys have shown this channel. Comment down below how you felt about the Shemar, Stewart, and Demetrius Knight Jr. news that they were sitting out. And let me know down below one name of a rookie that you were excited to see in 2025. Well, probably for me, I'm going to pick two. Well, I'm excited for all of them, but I'm really, really excited for Taj Brooks. I'm really excited to see how he plays in the backfield with Chase Brown and also pass protecting for Joe Burrow. I'm really excited about that. But thank you so much for watching this video for the Bengals Digest channel. I'm Carson Lokey. Have an amazing night or day whenever you're watching this, and God bless.